In secret we met, in silence I grieve, that thy heart could forget, thy spirit deceive. If I should meet thee after long hours, how should I greet thee? With silence and tears.
So why are you reading from Lord Byron?
Are you contemplating suicide by lost love?
No, Miss Withrow says her lover from years ago left at 4 with some kind of weird knife through it.
What, after the break?
Yes, she's convinced he's visiting her in a room at night.
Why?
Well, this mass she's seen, she describes it being kind of sad and angry with tears trailing down from the eyes. I believe Miss Withrow is suffering from hallucinations brought on by vascular dementia. She had a stroke a few months before she started seeing this masked figure. I'd like to run some tests to make sure.
Give her some 5 milligrams of zolpidem and 4 milligrams of lorazepam. Try that for a few nights, see how she does. With her lack of sleep, she may be having a delusional break.
You do nothing of the kind, Bill, and she's not my patient. Alexander's your supervisor, but that'd be cruel. Now, you just think about that, and Alexander just likes to drug up his patients. It makes his job so much easier.
Pull in your psychiatric clause, Kathleen.
You just talk to her, Bill. You just talk her through it just a little bit. Now, I would like to hear a little bit more about this lover and Lord Byron. See what she really does remember.
Let's see. Somebody comes into her room at night wearing a Halloween fright mask. Manages to avoid the cameras. There's no fluctuation in the monitor. And you honestly believe that someone's coming in her room at night?
An affair, Alex. All right. Now, maybe it is a false memory, but this only appears in her dreams.
Well, do what you want, William, but eventually you're gonna have to drop her.
No, please go away. Don't hurt me. Please, just go away.
So it came back last night? The mask?
Yes.
Did it say anything this time?
No. It never does. It just hangs there. And it stares down at me. And I know it's gonna do something horrible any minute, something, any second, something.
Do you ever strike out at it?
No, Dr. Bates, I just, oh, so
Fear?
perhaps. Well, you know what? I really think that I don't do anything because I know who it is behind the mask.
Your young lover from, what was it, 30 years ago? There is a camera in the room, you know, Miss Withrow. It never shows anyone but the nurse to check on you. Your monitors never show any distress when you're asleep. No one has ever heard you call out.
I know it's just a dream, Dr. Bates, but I'm terrified. I am terrified. Doesn't the monitor or your equipment show like a jump in heart rate or something like that?
I think it's a false memory of the dream, Miss Withrow. This person obviously meant a great deal to you. But you've been terrified that he'd come back because of this, what was it, poetic threat.
Poetic threat, you call it.
Yes, please tell me about that again.
She's clear. She's absolutely clear.
This woman sometimes has trouble recognizing me and knowing where she is. But when she talks about the mask and this relationship she had, it's as sharp as if she was 25.
Well, does she ever give you details about this guy? His name? What he did for a living? How big his penis was?
Alex, this isn't funny. Of course she doesn't. Okay? Now, she doesn't give any details because he doesn't exist. These are the hallucinations of an elderly woman. She can't give you any details because he doesn't exist.
How can you be sure?
This is the one light in this darkness of her life. Now, She might have had this great romance at one time in her life, but come on, Lord Byron? A bloody dagger in a poem? Come on, Bill. So maybe this excitement that she's had? No. You know, think about this. I mean, there was a little something that she's clear about in this dream of hers, but okay, it's a dream. Excitement. Do you want a cure of that?
Drug her up, William.
Oh, it was such a silly thing, Dr. Bates. I was doing my doctoral work on Byron, and those works were the glue that held us together, so to speak. There was a 30-year difference in our age, Doctor. I was excited about that youthful exuberance and complicated by romantic literature of all things. That summer, we went to Geneva. Lord Byron had been there, and he stayed. He was there with Mary Shelley, and, well, you get the picture. So many great works of that period. There were a bunch of writers and artists just with too much time on their hands and too much money. And anyway, history has it that Lord Byron appeared to Mary Shelley in the night in a mask after a late night of partying, which led her to have this bad dream, and later she wrote Frankenstein. That gave us literature professors something to write about to justify our existence. Oh, we went there to retrace our steps and create an atmosphere, and oh brother, all that rot.
You shouldn't be so cynical about it. You were in love. You had this literary figure as a common romantic bond. That thing is charming.
Oh, you were so young, Dr. Bates. Anyway, we went to this little shop and we bought a letter opener. And that lady told us that it was a carving of Lord Byron. It just looked like the face and figure of someone. I think she just heard us talking and told us that so that she could make a sale. It didn't really look like anyone. But you know what? We were in the mood, so we bought it.
It was left for you. Blood on it? You're sticking in a copy of some poem, right?
Yes. You know what? Remembering. It was bitter. It was very bitter. Dr. Bates. You know what? I'm thinking of the love. The passion. Oh, when we were in love. But it was a bitter hell when we were not. Who knows what this poem is about? Death, divorce, lost love. I used to care about such things. No more. No more. That horrible last stanza. In secret we met. In silence I grieve. That thy heart could forget. Thy spirit deceive. If I should meet thee after long hours, how should I greet thee with silence and tears? Darling, why can't you forgive me? Why, after all these years, you haunt me still? Even now, I didn't really mean to hurt you. You have to understand. No, 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 you can't hate me. I can't hate me. No, we love. To give me something to knock me out. Anything, please. I don't want to remember.
It's okay. You seem more disturbed. What is it? Did he come back last night?
It came back. I was choked. I was God.
There's never any indicator from the monitors that you're ever in any distress at night. You appear to sleep peacefully. I cannot believe you're having this nightmare. I believe it is a false memory. Your old lover from years ago may be real or not real, I don't know. I don't know whether he's a false memory or if this mask is false. I think it's a mask.
Please give me something. I can't go on the rest of my life like this. Please give me something.
Let's try one more thing.
I told her to think of a marker.
Oh, what?
I got the idea from the folks who study near-death experiences. The people who have these things are always describing how they float above the operating table and hear and see what is going on. So there have been attempts to put a marker, like a sign or signal or symbol that the person might see when they're floating there.
Has there been any success?
I haven't heard of any, but I told her to think of her own marker. Put something near her to put up a sign where no one else can see it. She can move around the room pretty well, or put something close that's unusual. The next morning, if she doesn't remember the object or see the sign or whatever, she'll know it's not real. It's just a dream.
But she knows that it's a dream already, doesn't she?
I don't think she's really convinced. That's why she's so terrified.
Well, try this if you want. But we can't have our patients under this much distress wait. If this doesn't work, I'm going to have to interfere and tell you to dope her up.
I haven't looked around the room, Miss Withrow. I don't know what the marker is. Is it in place?
Yes, it's in place.
Well, I don't know whether to wish you peaceful sleep or not. If the mask comes back and you don't remember the marker, it may convince your subconscious mind that the mask doesn't really exist.
I hope so, Dr. Bates. I really hope so. Night after night, that horrible face, those fingers I feel around my throat, and that pinch.
The what?
The pinch! That's how I go to sleep. I feel this pinch, this sting, and then it's all over. Really, I just wish it would come earlier. I need some rest.
You feel a pinch. At what point?
Oh, whenever it's over. Whenever that mask does what it's supposed to do, I guess. Oh, this isn't going to work, doctor. Please just give me something tomorrow. Please. Doctor.
Yes, I will. Sweet dreams. Miss Withrow isn't giving any sleep medication during the night, is she? By needle?
Of course not, doctor. Why don't you let me die in peace? Silence. I know. Silence and tears. Oh, darling. That was such nonsense. We were so in love, and we took poetry so seriously. I can't believe you still do. Go ahead. Do what you have to do. I'm not afraid of you anymore. I'm tired. And I'm not afraid to die. But you're not going to torture me? You're not going to kill me? No action. Well, I will! Nurse! Ah! Bates! Dr. Bates! That was my mark.